Welcome bitches one and all to my reaction to season 2 episode 6 of the originals, Wheel Inside the Wheel. So last time we had an episode focused on Elijah's mind and how basically over the years he has locked many traumatic events behind a door within his mind to basically trick himself into thinking that they've never happened. Now, with Esther's current plan being to break him down to the point where he will accept her wishes of putting him inside another body to start over and all that, I think that the current course of action is definitely working, as just finding out about Dahlia alone seemed to break him inside. So I'm not looking forward to finding out more things about Elijah's past. Well, I'm looking forward to finding out more things, but I'm not looking forward for him to go through that, because that is going to be a level of trauma that I don't think anyone should really have to go through in their life. But yes, anyway, with that said, very excited to get back into it and see how it all plays out, see what else is behind that door. So without further ado, let's go. Oh, another flashback? Kingdom of Norway. Are we looking at Esther's background?
Sister.
Sister.
I've come to beg for your help.
I think that is Esther.
If you hadn't abandoned your talents with witchcraft, you could help yourself.
I was never as strong as you, I know that. You are my sister, and whatever our quarrels, we are bound by blood.
Okay, before we begin, holy shit, so she has / had a sister. Well, it would have to be had, because there ain't no way that this bitch is still alive unless she turned into a vampire. And vampires weren't a thing back then, yeah, so there's no way that this bitch is still alive. So she had a more powerful sister, which, like, we're talking about Esther here. She had a more powerful sister? Excuse me? So what happened here? Because we know that she ended up being able to have many children, so she obviously helped her in some way, but I feel like it's going to be a vibe of, like, there's a price to pay, and maybe it's going to be a price that the children have to pay, and that's why we're, like, dealing with it now.
What you ask of me, it requires a heavy sacrifice. I could never refuse you.
I think you could never refuse her because you're getting something out of it yourself.
Spread the word from here to the bayou. Midnight tonight, he's to be put to death for his part in aiding the escape of deserters.
Damn. I mean, I'm not fully against it. I've never really liked him.
I remember you as a little boy, kind. If that boy had known the creature he would one day grow up to be, I'd do anything for that little boy, as I would you.
Oh my Christ. What the fuck is she doing?
I need to draw her out.
Wait, where are you going?
I'm going to change my shirt. I know you want to help Haley, but you can't. She will target you in order to thwart me, and I can't very well save Elijah if I'm busy saving you.
Her current plan doesn't actually involve killing Elijah and Klaus right now, but she will very easily kill you, so careful.
You can't take on all those wolves by yourself. You'll get killed, and then I'll get killed for letting it happen.
I'm not going in alone. The werewolves may be answering to the witches, but they still have an alpha. I just have to find him.
Okay, yeah, of course. We need to find Jackson. Where the fuck did Jackson go? Did he just run away?
He has family in town. They don't really get along, and he's kind of flipping out. I got sucked into the crazy.
Doesn't he have anyone else?
Brother's been occupied. The rest of his family I wouldn't say has a healthy dynamic, so
It's so funny to see someone break this down in, like, normal human terms.
I'll have a whiskey, and for the lady a Sazerac, 2 spoons of honey.
You know what? Better cancel that. I actually have to run, but I'll see you Monday.
Is she confused as to how he knew her order or something?
Nothing says I loathe you quite like desecrating a corpse.
Klaus.
Is that Elijah? What the fuck? Is she playing with his mind?
If I didn't know better, I'd say you were worried.
What has she done to you?
1,000 years. Murder.
My question is this like a mental thing to Klaus? Like, she's doing something to Klaus's mind? Or was that spell when she slit Elijah's throat in relation to this? Has she, like, I don't know, taken over his body for a moment? Or maybe she's, like, altered his mind in a way that he's now her little puppet or something? I don't know.
She wants to talk. Perhaps we should listen.
No!
Yeah, thought so.
The petty illusions, Esther. Where is Elijah?
He's preoccupied at the moment.
Is she actually here?
I have lied in the past, to my shame. But I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm in the process of making Elijah into the man he was meant to be, and I intend to do the same for you.
The audacity to come in here and say that I'm in the process of making Elijah into the man he was meant to be. You're fucking torturing your child and making him relive his trauma in the most traumatic way so that he will be moldable for you. So that because he will be so broken, you could be the one to put the pieces back together and he'll be eternally grateful. That is manipulative, disgusting behavior, Esther. That is not something you should be proud of, especially as a mother. Now, also, delving into all of this, it is so funny, the animosity that she has towards her children, and the kind of like, she looks at her children in shame, as if they are the problem, when I'm pretty sure, my darling, you, against their will, turned them into these very monsters that you hate them being. Like, oh, I just hate her.
As Rebecca and Elijah sought to defend you, your thoughts were focused only on your conquest of the quarter. How did that go?
Is this some sort of motherly critique? Please feel free to choke on it.
I mention your failures only to make a point, my dear.
The point is he's changed.
I suggest you give me my brother before I get angry.
Such hatred.
Of course he would have hatred towards you.
The truth is you're no better than Michael. And like him, you seem to have crawled back from the grave simply to...
She doesn't know. She doesn't know.
Yes, the destroyer has risen. Surely Cole has revealed everything to you. Or his mother's loyal little bootlicker, not quite so loyal after all.
Right. Few things to note from that which were perfect. One, the betrayal of Cole has kind of like fucked with her whole mentality of, look, I've changed Finn. I've even changed Cole. Like, no, Finn was always at your fucking boots. Cole, however, has been faking it this whole time, and you haven't even seen it, my darling. So it's just fucking hilarious that she thinks that she's bringing Elijah and Klaus over to the side of people who have got past everything, have got past all of this, and have come back to being her children, come back to being these great kids that she knew they would always be. Like, it's just fucking hilarious that he's just shattered that all in one go. But then secondly, the audacity to call out his hatred for her after everything she did. Like, yeah, you can say that she did the whole thing about making him weak to protect him and all that, but at the end of the day, my darling, if you're trying to truly protect your children from an abusive father, deal with the abusive father and find some way to get them out of it. Like, it seemed to us as though Esther wanted to stay with Michael. It seemed as though Esther had love for him to the point where she didn't want to leave. It wasn't a matter of like she was in a situation where she couldn't leave. She was a very powerful witch against a human man. She could have done something, but instead she chose to make Klaus weak so that Michael would abuse him more, never finding out about his other side, like his true side. All the things she did, and then turning them into vampires against their will, coming back to try and kill them over the mistake that she made. It's just like, she's just done so much stuff that is irredeemable that I don't even know why she's trying to stand here and act like she's bringing them over to her good side, you know? Oh, is this like ancestors?
I bet you want a new advisor right about now.
Oh no, that's the guy who Finn is.
Griffith is a family of witches.
Oh, it's worse than that. Your therapist has a 1,000-year-old dead vampire inside of him named Finn Michelson.
Yep.
Or maybe to use you as bait for a trap. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Either way, you're done with that guy.
No, I'm just getting started.
Cammy.
Am I to forgo centuries of hatred for my evil mother in order to join her in besting the very demon she herself allowed to raise me?
Nice.
I am your salvation. And Michael, he was not always a demon.
I don't care if you have love for him, my darling. The second that your partner starts abusing your children.
But it was our firstborn, Freya, who was the apple of his eye.
Oh, and the loss of a child. Don't get me wrong, I do think that Klaus working through his trauma and letting go of this hatred would be very beneficial to him. But when I say that, I don't mean fully forgiving her and joining her side. Absolutely not. I mean for his own interests he should do it, just so he doesn't have that burden of carrying that hatred with him anymore. But that doesn't mean that these people are not evil and are not doing this for the wrong intentions. Like, I don't trust Esther. And after everything that she has done, like, fuck off, you know? Like, actually just fuck off and leave him alone. She's just so frustrating with how hypocritical she is with everything.
And should Michael return with the intent to harm you, I will strike him down myself.
Why did you not do that the first time?
I have the truth about your father, your real father.
Oh. What does that mean, though? I have something stronger. I have the truth about your father.
Is that your best shot?
Stop!
Okay.
I see you met my friend Ansel. You know her? Yeah, actually I do. She was supposed to be my wife.
Ooh, awkward. Awkward moments. But yeah, hello Ansel, who are you?
Bare hands around my neck and squeezed until I died.
Which I don't blame him for.
My hatred for you runs so deep it's difficult to pinpoint its origin. Maybe I hate that I am the product of a whore's lechery.
Wow.
Word had spread about what happened to you and to your baby. I knew it was over. That's when I met Ansel.
That's fair. I didn't really think about Jackson's point of view in terms of finding out that Haley's baby died, because obviously he would think, oh, well, if she's not going to fight, because, like, why would you expect someone to fight when their kid has just fucking died? If she's not going to fight, then I haven't really got anyone left with me and I'm a one-man army, you know?
Ollie betrayed me. He plotted with the Guerreros. He spilled his own people's
He was trying
blood.
to make up for that.
It doesn't matter. Witches have him. He's dead.
I wish Haley knew what Ollie had done, because it would make this so much easier for her.
But I will not allow a wolf to be killed by witches.
At least someone's interested.
Damn.
His despair would drive us apart. I found myself drawn to another.
Why did your Adonis abandon his son? Why did he allow me to be raised by a monster who hated me?
Did she not tell him?
It was I who forbade it. I knew if Michael had learned of my infidelity, he would have destroyed us in his rage.
I never thought about that aspect. That Klaus would not only be holding the idea that Michael thought of him as a bastard and disgusting and all of that, but that his own true father also still felt that way. That his biological father also still felt that way because he made no effort in claiming Klaus as his own, you know? Like, damn.
Tell me you got your alpha.
He's out of commission, but I got the next best thing. I'm assuming you have a plan to keep Finn occupied?
Yeah, I think I might have an idea.
Just so happens we have someone who is actually wanting to keep Finn occupied.
With mortality, you could start over. You could have a family of your own. Happiness, peace, all the things you've long been denied.
It's sad because, like, there's a few things to break down here. One, I think a part of Klaus does definitely want that. A part of him does want to go back to the way that he was meant to be without all of this baggage, but the baggage is still there no matter if you put him in another body or not. And then obviously the other part of all of this is that, like, he can't exactly explain to her that he already has that because he already has his baby, you know? He already has this potential new life with his child, and the fact that his child is a hybrid, well, the fact that his child is many things, I don't even know what to call it. You can't then go to just being a werewolf, can you? You want to be immortal with your child, because I'm assuming his child is immortal as well. It's all very dependent on what powers the child has and what, like, are they born a vampire? Are they born immortal / dead? Or do they still have to go through the process of being killed and then coming back to life? You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand the child's full abilities, but they definitely will have the potential of immortality. And so maybe Klaus won't want to be mortal with his child and all that. But yeah, this is very complicated, but I do think that some part of Klaus does like this idea. It's just that, like, if you're talking about like a clean slate memory wise as well, then this is perfect. But he would be going into a new body with his memories, and that baggage, that trauma is still going to be there. This won't solve that.
I had hoped there was some part of you that yearned for an end to your vicious ways.
Damn.
I'll have to accommodate you.
Jesus. Well, is she going to capture him as well, or is she just going to leave him and keep killing him over and over? What the fuck is that? Excuse me, what is going on here? Hold the fuck up. I'm pretty sure that that is Ansel, and they're implying here that that is Klaus discovering his father dead after Michael went on a killing spree. I assume that's what's happening here. So what the fuck is going on? Is Ansel back? Is Klaus's father just back? But how? Does he have his memories? I mean, that does make sense though, because Jackson was saying that he is teaching me the old ways, the traditions of how to be a wolf and all that, which would make sense of someone who was back in the time where wolves were like abundant and before all vampires and everything. What a revelation to just put midway in the episode out of nowhere.
Had you yourself not killed me soon thereafter, I doubt I ever would have recovered. You woke earlier than I expected.
What the fuck is that?
I've lifted the spell that hides him. You are free to take him home.
What?
Now his own mind will work out his choice for him.
Okay.
When he wakes, he'll make his own decision.
I guess, yeah. In essence, the damage is done. She's unlocked the door. It's whatever he wants to do with that truth now. But what did she do when she slit Elijah's throat and did a spell? Was that her lifting the spell? Maybe that was just unlocking the door completely and now he's left to figure it all out. Show me your left cheek, Broski. I'm trying to see if you got a scar.
Ollie, wake up.
Yeah, hi, Ollie. Good, all of that. Show me fucking Ansel.
They know we're here.
Oh, Jesus. God, they're like feral animals.
Low self-esteem, paranoia, impulse control.
So you got all of that?
In one of our first sessions, you mentioned that you don't get along very well with your brothers. Do you stay in touch with them?
In a manner of speaking, we're not particularly close.
Careful, Cammy.
You must be lost. Vampires caught in the corridor to be killed on sight.
I think you're about to lose your life, Broski.
Just leave me here. Go.
To hell with that.
I didn't see a scar on his cheek. Yeah, I can't see a scar, and I'm pretty sure that guy had a scar. Maybe I have just misread things.
Sometimes I ask myself why I let people like Klaus into my life. I'm always drawn to the bad boys. Maybe deep down, I feel like that's what I deserve.
I'm an expert in unhealthy patterns. I've broken some of my own, and I can help you do the same.
My fear here, Cammy, is that, like, yeah, I know you're getting the knife ready and all of that, but this man is a very powerful witch, and as we've seen, is very good at, like, putting up the defense immediately, and he's quick. So I don't know if you're going to be able to get this knife, whatever the fucking knife does, into him quick enough, you know? He got bit, didn't he? Oh, fuck, they both got bit. Good job, Marcel. But yeah. Klaus, can we have a little bit of blood, please?
Come on out! We know you're here.
Oh, not you. Oh, shit. Haley? What are you doing?
Why don't you just let us go and we can call it a day?
No, I don't think so.
This is so annoying because obviously he is thankful that they helped him get his brother out and all those other kids, but at the end of the day, he is still technically on Esther's side, and he can't exactly in front of everyone be like, you know what, we'll leave this, No, so he's got to fire.
I know I ain't innocent, but I never lost sight of what I was fighting for. We were gonna be a pack. And now, killing your own people, we do that, we're nothing.
I do agree, but wow. I'm a little bit surprised, to be honest. It's like part of me isn't surprised because obviously everything he was saying was true, but power that the Moonlight Rings have over them. So I was still a little bit 50-50 because I couldn't tell if they were right, but the laugh wrinkles were the things that I kept looking at. I know that's funny, but they were the things I kept looking at because like they were so similar between the two, and it felt weird that they would show us his face when it looks so similar to Ansel's, and they've introduced this new guy called Ansel that we're like, who the fuck are you? And now that we've got this lined up that Klaus is about to go over there, I'm pretty sure that's his father. Oh.
You.
Oh my god.
Stop this charade! I know that thing is not real!
Look at me, Nicholas.
Wow.
I am flesh and blood.
How?
You're an illusion, meant by my mother to sway me to accept her bargain.
I do not speak for Esther. I know nothing of her bargains.
But then, this is what's confusing me, because the only way that I could see this man coming back is that Esther somehow spelled him to come back from the other side. I mean, obviously we know that she came back from the other side, and Finn did as well, and Cole. So we know that they were able to come back at that time, so maybe she brought him with them. But then why would she not be using him for her cause? Maybe because her love for him superseded that, and she didn't want him to come back for her cause. She just wanted him to come back because she thought she owed him. But I just, with how Esther's being with her kids and all that, it's surprising to me that if she is the one who brought him back, that she didn't somehow get him on her side so that he could convince Klaus, you know?
Even if what you say is real, you are nothing to me.
Klaus.
For all I care, you can crawl back to hell.
I understand that. Those feelings for abandonment, and likely his negative feelings for his other two parents, have also transferred to that guy just by association. So I think that it's fair that Klaus had that reaction, but I hope he changes his mind.
I gotta admit though, when you took off, I thought you were gone.
What you're building here, it fits. So I'm in. No running, no matter what.
So far, I do really like her character, so I hope she sticks around. I hope that we don't lose her in a couple of episodes or something.
I'm his blind spot. If he's distracted, he's vulnerable, which means I can help take him down.
Oh, those shadows behind Cammy just then, I thought we were about to have Vincent come along. I was like, oh god.
I have to tell you, I already know, Ollie. You sold me out to Francesca.
Oh, I think he's gonna reveal thingy.
Our people are not meant to be slaves. You can free them.
Oh shit.
It's the witches.
I was gonna say.
They said he only had until midnight.
Stay with me.
Wow, so they'd already done the spell. It had already taken effect. Damn. Is he okay?
Elijah, he won't wake. Not yet. You and I, one last chance to discuss my offer.
He's gonna bring up his dad now. I want to hear her story.
I pulled him from the other side before it collapsed, and I used the execution of one of his own to draw him here, where I knew he'd find you.
For fuck's sake. All of these plans, Esther. You're just as bad as Klaus has been.
I brought him here to be the father you never had, to teach you to become the man you always longed to be.
Okay, I think what happened here is, it's basically what I was saying earlier about how, like, I was confused as to why Esther hadn't done this. I was confused as to why Esther hadn't convinced Ansel to be on her side so that he could convince Klaus, but she went around it in an even smarter way, which was basically, I'm not going to get him on my side. I'm just going to allow him and Klaus to meet naturally, and that alone will make Klaus want to go back to his werewolf roots as a mortal werewolf with his mortal werewolf father, you know? I think that that was her whole plan here, which is smart, but, like, bold of you to say that, like, Klaus is this monster who, like, has done all these things in his life. And the main thing about Klaus is that he has, like, so many plans and he's so meticulous about everything. He manipulates everything when you're just as bad.
Reject me now, and you will live out your endless days unloved and alone.
I disagree.
After all I've done to explain to you, why must you persist?
Because you came for my child!
Yeah.
My daughter!
Klaus, I had to.
Why? Why did you have to?
I will make you suffer as only I can.
By killing you every time I know you're in a body?
I am my mother's son.
Damn. I love that on so many levels. One, because honestly, all of this talk about the past and all of that past trauma, I didn't forget, but it kind of got glossed over in my mind that a lot of Klaus's hatred and anger were because she went after his child, and the fact that now that his child, in her mind, is dead, and she killed her, like, of course he would have that hatred and all of that. Of course that would be a root cause. So I'm glad that he brought that up, because that would just run home to her that this isn't some ancient trauma. This isn't some ancient hatred of something she did a long time ago. It's something she did a few fucking months ago. She literally went after his literal family and then has the audacity to come along and say that this is your only salvation. You're going to be unloved and alone because you killed his fucking kid, bitch. Like, what? Doesn't make sense. The audacity and the hypocrisy of this woman just, oh, it hurts my brain. But the other thing that I loved was the, after all, I am my mother's son, because all of this talk about his father and Michael being his, like, adoptive father, but, like, didn't know his adoptive father, you know what I mean. All of this talk about all of that, we haven't focused on the fact of how fucking similar you are to Klaus, Esther.
You wanted a family. Fate said otherwise, and so you came to me. And for a price, I granted your wish.
She took Freya. She didn't die in the plague.
Our bargain was for this firstborn, and every firstborn of each generation that is to come.
Oh, shit.
If you take my daughter, I swear to you, I will return to the Black Arts. I will grow in power as a witch, and I will make you pay!
Wow. Oh, we have a lot to talk about with that then. Sorry, I thought that we were like at the end then, but if we're gonna have a little scene here, no matter how small it is, I need to talk. Fucking hell. So she took her firstborn Freya, which means that there is every possibility that, like, I was gonna say there's every possibility that, like, Freya could be alive, or maybe the sister will be alive, but I don't think so, because unless they became vampires, then it can't work. But vampires didn't exist then, obviously. Maybe it's a matter of, like, Freya was still alive, so Freya has descendants, and we may find an actual Michelson mortal descendant, you know? That could be cool. But yeah, so she asked for the firstborn of every line, but that got fucked. Because obviously, when they all became vampires, apart from Klaus, but we'll get to that, when they all became vampires, they could no longer have children. Thereby, she no longer got the firstborn of every line because there were no more lines, you know? But I'm surprised that she didn't come back with vengeance after Esther did that then, because that's kind of like loopholing their deal. But yeah, so if we have something to do with Dahlia coming back, I mean, if Dahlia was on the other side and Esther managed to get out, and we've been saying that Dahlia was even more powerful than Esther, then there's a very big chance that Dahlia was also able to make it out from the other side. And if she wants the firstborn of every line, that means that Klaus's child is the firstborn, so
Your action saved this family. If that child had lived...
Fuck off.
Dahlia would return.
Oh.
And she would come for us all.
Interesting. I didn't think about that part of things. Okay, right. Two things from that. One, I did not think about the aspect of the fact that obviously Dahlia might be able to come back, but I don't know. They seem to be under the impression that Dahlia could easily come back if the child had lived. So I assume that that means that they know that Dahlia has somehow found a way to survive. Maybe she used her magic to make herself immortal or something, or make herself only awaken when a newborn, like when someone of the new line is born. And so that's why they went and killed the child, because they were like, we can't allow that to happen because then Dahlia will awaken. That kind of vibe. But moving on from that, the other thing that was really interesting with that is we're finally seeing elements as to why Finn and Esther have such a close bond and are more so like siblings than they are mother and child compared to her other children, you know? Like, she treats her other children as her kids, whereas it feels like Finn is almost her brother, because they almost have this understanding and mutual respect and all that. And I think that it comes from this. It comes from the knowledge that Finn has of what happened to Freya, and it comes from their discussions of that, and they are the only two people who know about Dahlia and all that. You know what I mean? Like, when you have those family secrets that you only share with each other, I feel like that would create a deep bond with them too, which explains a lot of things on that front. But yeah, in terms of Dahlia, I mean, if they're scared that Dahlia will come back, does that mean that Freya might be able to come back? Does that mean that Freya might somehow be able to still be alive? Because that could be fucking cool to have another Michelson sibling come back, and one who isn't a vampire, one who never got turned. But then again, we're throwing in the issue of how would her and Dahlia be alive right now, but I guess we'll have to wait and see on that front. But yeah, at least that explains one part of why Esther was so hell-bent on killing the child, because it, like, you could understand her reasoning in terms of like, oh no, this child will be really powerful, we can't let it happen, it was a crime against nature to create vampires in the first place, let alone whatever this child will be, you know, because they will have elements of like a witch, a werewolf, and a vampire. Like, they would be too strong. So like, I understood from a logical point of view why she was going down that route, but to actually finally understand that no, it was out of fear of Dahlia, and it was out of fear of her coming back. And if she takes the firstborn child and all of that, with this child, with Klaus's child being the most powerful creature for all we know to ever exist, that would be very destructive. So at least we understand that side of Esther a bit more, but I still don't like, I still don't trust Esther. I still don't think that she is just in anything that she's doing. She's manipulative. She's very much the same as Klaus in all of the bad ways, you know, and just the audacity to stand on such a high horse and say that she is his only hope for salvation when she is the very reason as to why he has fallen so far is hilarious. Her whole character is just so fucking annoying, to be honest. But yeah, so we have Klaus's father back, which is something that I never even considered in my mind, you know? Like, if we're talking about people that can come back, I wouldn't have thought that a werewolf who died that long ago was even an option. But of course, if he was on the other side, Esther would have brought him back. And she said that she did it for Klaus. She said she did it as a gift for Klaus and all that. But I think a part of her did it because she knew that she is the reason that he is dead. She is the reason that he lost his life. And she is the reason that he didn't have a relationship with Klaus because she forbade it. So I think this is very much an action out of her own love and her own guilt for what happened to him, far more than it is just a gift for Klaus. You know, she can cover it all she wants, but that is not the case in my mind. Now, in terms of the rest of the episode, obviously we have Cammy getting in goods with Finn, which will be handy because that'll be his weakness. We have Elijah now going to have to process everything that he has learned about himself, which I'm not looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to it from a psychological point of view of finding out like how this would affect a person and how it will affect someone like Elijah, who like has all of these coping mechanisms that he's built up over the years due to hiding things behind a red door, due to trying to keep clean all the time, having like a nice suit and all that. I want to see how this affects him psychologically and how it affects all of those behaviors, you know, but I'm not looking forward to seeing a broken Elijah because he's one of my favorite characters and it's just going to be sad at the end of the day, you know. But yeah, overall, that was an absolutely fantastic episode. We had so many reveals, so many, like, the reveals that they did this episode were so, like, out of the blue as well. Like, the Ansel reveal, I was like, wait, what? I started questioning myself because it seemed so just like, oh yeah, by the way, he's back. You know what I mean? So I liked that, but I felt very put off by it. But then the second reveal with Dahlia, I think is really cool because, like I said in the Vampire Diaries recently, they tend to do these like 8-episode arcs, which like it doesn't fully work out, but it's like between 7 and 8 episode arcs where you kind of have like a main villain and a main storyline going on. And now that we've got to episode 6, we're kind of coming to the end of Esther's plans and Michael's plans. Like, Michael for now has been thwarted and he is on the run and all that. And will he come back in this first act? I don't know. But Esther is obviously still around. However, she's kind of reached the apex. She's done all that she has to do with these kids. And she's kind of just left them to make their own decisions now. So we're kind of coming to the end of that storyline as well, which means that I think we are going to see Dahlia come back, because Esther's fear was that if this child would live, Dahlia would come back. And we know that the child has lived. So I think it's safe to say that Dahlia is definitely going to make a return in some way. I don't know how, but Esther's fear was so much that she would kill Klaus's kid. So I think it's safe to say that it's a good bet that she is on her way, you know. So very excited for that, hopefully in the next few episodes. But yeah, absolutely fantastic episode. And I'm so excited to see where we go from here. But for now, thank you very much for watching. I've left a link down below to my Patreon, where you'll be able to find the early and uncut reactions to the originals and all the other shows that I do. Also left a link to my Twitch, my Discord, and my socials, so be sure to follow them if you are interested. And yes, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.